write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know. I don't know.
That was great sounds of Watson with Outside on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. EZ BlueZ, you're better with introductions more than me. Who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, some people will say this man's money does not jingle, jingle, it folds. I have been compulsively following his career for a very long time. For the record, this man has sat down with kings and queens. For the record, this man's business goes from Eastern Europe all the way to LA. For the record, this man has united two people that grew up in the same neighborhood but had never worked together. For the record, I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, you keep your hands at 10 and 2 because we don't need any accidents. But mentally, put your hands together for the man of Compulsive Magazine, man of the For the Record podcast, the man who has brought so many melodies to your ears you have not even recognized it yet. Ace GEO, how you feeling?
Yo, good. I'm all good, man. I'm all good. Your intros are always like off the chain. I feel like I'm walking to the ring fight night. I gotta get ready. Every time I sit down with you guys, it's always a pleasure, man. What's going on?
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you, man. Everything's moving in incredible directions.
Yeah, definitely. I thought I lost somebody. Sorry, I thought I lost you.
Yeah, we thought we had lost everybody there. But the main reason we have you on right now, obviously, is on June 1st, or technically May 31st, you released a brand new single. And I have to say, props to it. It's got such a great sound. The melodies on there are incredible. What's bringing you back out into actually, because you've been sitting a little bit more on the cut. You've been working a little bit more behind the scenes. You've been doing this incredible podcast that I've mentioned 19 times in your intro, For the Record.
Absolutely. For the record.
So what made you say, hey, it's time to get back out there and throw some music down?
You know what? I was actually, I've actually been sitting on a lot of music. Like, I probably have enough music to float for like another year and a half. And I just kind of been sitting on it. A lot of stuff I created, over the pandemic time. And, the radio has been, shout out to, can I shout out radios?
Oh, yeah.
Stations?
Go ahead.
All right. Shout out to Juan Castillo and everybody down at 94. I dropped a song, end of last year called Grateful. And, they kind of took it with open arms, and they've been keeping me in rotation and, keep it going. And it's been in rotation for a long, long time. So, he finally hit me up and he was like, yo, man, I know you got more. So it's time for you to drop some more stuff. And, you get caught up with doing everything, doing the podcast, doing the merchandise, doing, trying to make everybody happy. And then I'm going, I guess it is time. So, I just decided to drop it now. Addiction is a feel good song. It's, it's a collab with my man, my little bro, artist Kendall, who's extremely dope. And it was just the timing, it was one of those feel good spring, summer jump off type songs. So, I felt it was time for it.
First of all, I want to just rewind for a couple of seconds. I love the fact, because you and I kind of come from that same songwriting aspect of it, where Addiction is a really feel good song. Most people would be like, that's a horrible idea for a feel good song. Why would you call it that? But it's, but it's so true. You have to walk, that line, and you have to really like leave it into those atmospheres. And when you take that risk and use a subject line like addiction and make it a feel good song, really, it is a next level type of feel. So I want to give you your flowers for that right now.
I mean, it can go, addictions can go so many different ways. You know what I mean? Like, for us being creatives, we're addicted to this creative process. We're addicted to, for us being musicians, we're addicted to that music, that sound, that passion that we feel, that when we're on stage or when someone hears a song for the first time, we're addicted to that, and that's where I was mainly going, mainly feeling about that title, plus it's the, the relationship thing. I'm addicted to, you. In this particular case, I'm addicted to her, and you know what I mean. And it's just my addiction keeps me calling back for you, you know. So it just happened to work that way, and you know, it's crazy because Kendall, I had an idea, and then I sent the track to artist Kendall, and he hit me with a crazy hook. And first of all, it actually had no title, had nothing at all. He hit me with a hook, sent it back to me, and I was like, boom, I knew exactly what to do with it, and recorded it, sent it to him, and he was like, yo, bro, this got to be a single. Like, you got to put this out, you know. So it's just it's been a good marriage, you know what I'm saying. This is my second single that I've dropped with Kendall, you know what I'm saying. I've done one, you know, back a couple years back. We did one that performed well. So this is our, you know, getting back together. You know, I mean, he's an awesome artist. He just dropped some crazy new music. He's got a single called Bentley that's out right now. So yeah, you know, it's Addiction is our new project that we're just dropping for everybody. So all platforms officially May 31st.
Right.
Let's go.
You know.
Now for those that were listening before, I kind of want to jump in for a second. You know, the radio station said we want that next single, and you went back out there and did that single. So now that the public is saying, when's the next showcase? When are you going to bless a stage again?
Oh man,
I'm calling you out. I'm putting you there, man.
Now you know what we've talked about it. You know, and you and I have talked about it personally. You know what I mean? You know, the goal is to try to do something over the summer with my other little bro, Ammo Gift, another incredible, talented artist. You know, and we want to do something real intimate, you know, and just, you know, take our team. We're a dysfunctional team at times, you know what I'm saying? We're like all crazy cousins. It's like, yo, you know how you have family that you don't see for a while and then you talk to them and you don't talk to them. It's, there's so much going on with everyone's lives. It's just, we got to get together, you know, and put it together. And, you know, talking to Ammo, we just really want to do something intimate, you know, small, you know, just a good group of, you know, friends, family, and fans. And, you know, so look for something over the summertime. You know, hopefully we get something together with you and your band, you know, come out and do like a little mashup, you know, some unplugged type stuff, man. I think that's where it all lies. You know, it makes people really feel and understand. Like if you're in that environment and you can really perform and really touch people and do something intimate, I mean, that'll be crazy, you know. So you break down all the lyrics, break down everything, and get a chance to just really vibe out. So that's really what I'm looking for, and I know that's what Ammo's looking for too. So I think that would be crazy.
Definitely works, and that's great to hear too, because you know, with everything that's coming through, and you know, there is a huge resurgence in New Haven for live music. You know, and there's been a lot bumping, and there's been a lot that piddles out because they're not the proper marketing behind it. Everything you do, you market correctly. So I know that no matter what, it's going to be a success, and I'm looking forward to it. You know,
it's all trial and error, man. Like, you know, I talked to, you know, my partner Joe. I feel like I'm name dropping and mentioning a lot of people. It's just because, you know, it takes a village just to make everything happen. You know, and it's just I've been blessed to have a good team. You know, when I stepped off of one squad and jumped onto another, you know, or created another, it's putting together the right people. You know what I mean? And you know, talking to my partner Joe for the record, it's just like I wanna be that guy who gets on the court, you know, and scores 30, you know, every night. But I want the same for my team. You know what I mean? So if Ammo scores 30, if Vega scores it, if Joe scores it, you know, Kodak, anybody in the team, it's all good. So having that squad that's all in the same place and really understands our passion, my passion. I mean, it's been a blessing, you know. So. I lose you there.
Well, for a second, but I think
it's on my end. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
In and out. No. It's just the connection that we have. It's okay.
Oh, got you. I thought it was my connection. I'm like, I got so much Wi-Fi right now going on. There's no way it's me. So, like, how? Nah, it's all good, though.
Easy. I see the light bulbs up ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, no, it's really interesting because we've had Ammo on the show, and he stated the same thing about your guys' unit, where it is that dysfunctional family aspect where you have so many people that are putting it through there, and everyone is there, You know, although everyone's score might be scoring 30 points, they're also putting up 20 to 30 assists as well. And that
Right.
is really the most important thing, you know. And yeah, you're name dropping, but you're not name dropping as much as you're identifying everyone that has gotten to this point. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like you're saying, oh, and then, you know, the Queen of England came through and we were just having coffee. You're talking about real
Yeah.
people that you actually know, you know what I mean? So it's a big
Yeah.
difference that it's a name drop, their name drop, you know.
And it's a process, you know. I think that, you know, having great people around me, you know, just it adds on to everything that I've learned over the years. Like, you know, for me being, I consider myself an older artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not old school. I've managed to stand, you know, the test of time and stay current and be able to drop stuff that still relates, you know, people can still relate to and still vibe to. And I think I owe a lot of that to, you know, dudes, little bros like Ammo and Kendall, you know what I mean? Because I come up with things and I shoot it by them and be like, yo, what you think about this? And, you know, and they're honest with me. They're brutally honest with me. Nah, bro, that's not it. Or, you know, this, yeah, it is it. You know what I mean? So when I've always been that guy who, when I'm creating, you know, I like to paint, man. I like the art, you know what I'm saying? Like I like to just paint with all colors, you know. So if I wanna rap one day, if I wanna sing the next day, if I wanna beatbox on the track, if whatever I want to do, man, I like to open up that, you know, open up those paintbrushes, get those paintbrushes out and just do whatever I gotta do, man. You know, I think it's part of being, you know, passionate about being an artist, you know. So I'm not afraid to take on any challenge, and in doing this, you know, younger sound, it adds another bullet to my chamber. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, cool, I can stay current with this, you know what I mean? But I can still bounce back and do something, you know, super lyrical if I need to. And that stuff will be on, you know, the next project that I work out. You know, so I think it's all these different people, all these different blessings that I'm working with have definitely added on to my different chambers. You know, I can go down this line and be like, all right, cool, seventh chamber. Let me get this in and focus on songs for the radio. And go down to the eighth chamber. Boom. All right, songs for TV. Let's go. Let's get it in. All right, cool. Thing we got music over here for the podcast. Let's go. So I mean, it's been all, again, little blessings that's been sent to me that I'm definitely, you know, taking, learning, and helping them learn as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Well, see, it's so interesting too, because, you know, dealing with as many artists as we've dealt with, and both Prestige and I, you know, have dealt with a bunch of them. There's a difference between being like the chameleon, where you can jump into any different type of style, and that's amazing. But with you in particular, and this can be said, and I'm going to put you up there with some of the top names, like a Beyonce, like a Clapton. You know it's you.
Yeah.
In whatever style in which you do. You have your own style and you have your own voice that
Right.
stands no matter what style you plug yourself into. And that's huge. That is the difference between like a one-hit wonder and someone who's going to have an established career. And you obviously have that established career. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with being me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went through that period where people were like, "Yo, you know, you need to do songs like this, do songs like that," and it's like, nah. You know what? I don't think anybody ever told, you know, Basquiat how to do his paintings, like, or told Picasso like, "Yo, you need to do this, just this. You're going to be good at just this." Nah, it's like, why would I want to do that? Part of being an artist is I should be able to explore and experience and just take that trip down creative Ave, you know, and just do whatever I want to do. So, you know what I mean? Like, I found my voice a long time ago, you know, when I first got into, you know, this whole thing, and back in 07, 08, and I started really taking everything seriously. You know, people were like, "Yo, you certain tones you hit, you sound like Jay-Z, man. You gotta watch that." And then that made me, you know, find a marriage with a group, with Northern League, and with my partner at that time, Keith, you know, just so I could take a little bit of that Jay-Z heat off of me, you know, saying, and kind of find a different voice. So I started just playing with my tones and the fluctuations, and I think it's all muscle building. You know what I'm saying? Just doing all those different things have definitely allowed me to build up muscles. And then I'm a student. I'm always a student, of the game. You know what I mean? I'm always constantly listening to new stuff, checking out new flows, checking out new artists, signed, unsigned, unheard of, or whatever the case is. All that stuff adds to just that muscle building. So yeah, that's how I've been able to stay around for so long.
Right.
No,
that's absolutely huge, and I think it's incredible. And I love this first part. We've really been focusing on the artist side of it. I mean, you have been able to do what I consider something impossible. You have been able to maintain your artistic integrity, but also full success on the business aspect of it. Now, that is such a fine line for artists to walk.
Right.
Is there any type of advice? Now, obviously, the really good advice, they have to call you up and get your services and all that kind of stuff. But is there any type of like little free sample you can give to the folks at home right now?
You know what? I think as far as the advice about it is, you have to understand, like, yes, we're passionate about the music, but this is the music business. You know what I mean? And I think, for new artists coming up, they really have to understand that there's more work after you actually create that song, and the stuff that goes into, the business side of it. It's all about reading. You got to read. You have to be educated on what you're signing up for, what you're looking into. You shouldn't, new artists should not just take their art and just put it in somebody else's hands and let them run. You got to understand where everything else is going, or you're going to end up another one of those, where are they now stories? You know what I mean? So my thing is, for new artists, for upcoming artists, and I got a meeting with a new artist, later on this afternoon, this evening, and I'm gonna tell her the same thing. It's keeping your finger on the pulse of everything and checking off every box. Like, you got to check off social media. You got to check off, hand-to-hand stuff. Like, sometimes taking it back and just printing up. If you got to print up the CDs, if you got to take it back to vinyl and print up some vinyl and get out there and do some hand-to-hand, check that box off. You got to check off social media, being on TikTok, being on Instagram, being on, Facebook or whatever else is. Check off YouTube. You have to be everywhere if you want to be successful. And my biggest thing is listen to everyone. Take what you need from them and apply it to you. Whatever you feel is going to help you grow, take that, apply it. Go to somebody else, listen to what they got to say, take that, apply it. And just, again, building up those muscles, it just builds your arsenal and it makes you lethal. I staying away from being one dimensional. That's the key. You can't be one dimensional in this business. You have to hit all avenues and not be afraid to use your voice, ask questions, stand up for what you want, like you, like I listen to the Shane Penguin stuff, often, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many different messages in your music. There's so much that, like, so many different emotions that your music, I think, evokes, when I'm listening to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I told you this when you were on the show, like I'm enchanted by your songwriting, you know what I mean? And I think that you've gone through so much in your life that you've added all those different things to your arsenal that have built up your muscles to where you can sit down, and it may take you a week, it may take you, 6 months, but you sit down and when you create something, you pen it perfectly, and you're not afraid to tap in and experiment, which is one thing that I love about you and your group, so I gotta get out and see you live. That's the last piece of the puzzle for me. I gotta come see you live.
Oh, it's a different world, bro. It's a different world. Look, and this isn't about us, and I'm gonna take everything and I'm gonna love it, and I love, and we'll talk about it another point in time. But this is definitely about you. And for the video game geeks at home, the best way that I can use as a metaphor for what you've been talking about is you got a Mega Man life. You got to sit there, because when you play Mega Man, you beat that last boss, you get that boss's power, and you become better. And then you get to that next level, and you take that boss's power, and you become better. And then you just become indestructible. And that's how you have to be in this business. You know,
that's
you need
crazy.
to, like, we play any type of show and any type of showcase because, you know, we play hip hop shows, we play punk rock shows. You know, we'll play your bar mitzvah if you want, bro. It's good. Like, just because we want that experience and we want to see what everyone's feeling at that.
Exactly.
You know?
I've been like, and that's perfect. That's the perfect analogy, man. I've been literally stacking up powers for as long as I can remember. It's crazy. Like somebody, I was sitting with DJ Rex the other day. He actually came on our show, and we were talking to him, and he said something to me that kind of put things in perspective for me. He like kind of stopped and paused. He's like, "Yo, let me tell you something." He was talking to Joe. He was like, "Yo, it's like AB." He's like, he had the best resume that I've ever seen 12 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And we still having this conversation now. And now it's the podcast. He's just adding something completely different to, you know, his arsenal. So like when people say stuff like that, and it's like, wow, you know, people are actually paying attention. You know, it's that other aha moment, like, you know, but you really don't know, you know what I'm saying? You really don't know like how many people you're actually touching, you know, musically, emotionally, until someone speaks up and says, "Yo, I've been vibing up to your stuff for, you know, the last decade." You know what I'm saying? "Yo, I'm wondering when I can come see you live." You know, or, you know, I'm wondering when you're gonna put out a full album instead of just dropping, you know, singles and stuff like that. So you really don't know until people come up to you and say that. And I've had a lot of those, you know, aha moments, like, wow, okay, people are still paying attention, should I say.
Yes, they are on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. For the second time on the show, we got GEO with us. GEO, what is the joy you love about interviewing? Since you are an interviewer now, you can add that to your resume.
Oh man, you know what? Just having people come together, you know what I mean, and listening to their stories and just the musical, like the knowledge that I've been able to. I think we're on episode 8 right now for the record, and the stories that I've heard, you know, from people getting, you know, kidnapped, to you know, to people taking over radio stations, to, you know, just people being in the hood and being like right around across the street from each other and not even realizing it. It's just been so there's so much musical talent and musical stories and background things, you know, that I've heard. I've just enjoyed the whole entire thing, man. It's a nice ride. It's been informative. It's been educational for me. You know, there's been a lot of things that I've learned about when you see people on IG, or you see people on, you know, Apple Music or whatever the case is, and you look at their project, it's one thing. But when you're able to sit down with them and actually, excuse me, so I'm getting interrupted over here. Sorry. When you're able to sit down with them and actually, you know, hear their voice, like hear their perspective on things, you know, hear how they grind it, you know, coming through, you know, the street, you know, disappointment, you know, love. You know, when you get to actually learn them, it's amazing. You know, you would think that, oh, you know, nobody wants to talk to me, nobody wants to hear what I have to say, you know what I mean? But I had somebody tell me, one of the episodes that we did with the girls from Jungle Rose, you know, I've had a couple people hit me up and be like, it was basically a women empowerment type episode. We were talking about hypergamy and a bunch of other different things. You know, people were like, "Yo, I had to look that word up and figure out what that meant." You know, and then, you know, I had to understand, you know, what you guys were talking about. But it was cool because it opened up my life to something completely different. You know, or, you know, young ladies that hit me up, you know, on IG and be like, "Yo, what you said, you know, about women and Black women in general, you know, the struggle, it touched me." You know what I mean? It's like somebody believes, somebody does understand, you know what I mean? And somebody's actually talking about it. So it's been that this journey that I'm on now with For the Record is probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. It's really, really to do it, weekly and air it, see it back, see everybody's response, hear everybody's response. It's been so cool, man. And thank you guys for coming down. Thank you guys for being our first guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
It was a great experience, and it was interesting to be on the other side. Like that was really some of the first times that I've actually sat on the other side of it and stuff. And for those that really know, I mean, after that episode aired, I'm sitting there working the door at the State House, and Ace blows up my phone. He's like, "Yo, I just had a huge conversation with this woman who totally took, your advice about having adventures, and she's gonna now go live her life extra now."
And that was crazy to me, man. That's exactly what I mean. Like, you never know until somebody just hits you up. And she straight up said to me, she's like late 60s or something. She was like, "Yo, I listened to that interview, and the big guy with the beard, he made me want to start having journeys and just going out and doing things." And I checked back in with her, and she's like, "I don't care about the pandemic. I'm just gonna go," And she's here. She's like, I'm getting ready to go to Antigua. I'm getting ready to go over here." I'm like, "Take your journey." And it's not like she's going on her own. You know what I mean? So that interview number 1 with you guys, that inspired this lady to take solo journeys and go places alone. So I mean, that's amazing, man. You know what I mean? So again, thank you guys for sharing all that stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. Pretty much just with your journey, and just when we had Joe on the broadcast, just learn about him. I just think the whole lesson just out of everything, just how just a similar path that we're going on, it's never too late. It's never too late, just like to jump in any kind of, field, or just like anything like you always were just interested in. It's not too late to either do what you really wanted, or, because everybody has a shelf life, to either get a little bit close to it or be part of that whole business. It's not too late to explore. It's really not.
I've had that conversation and that battle with some artists that I've worked with. And I think that for hip hop, we've done that. Hip hop, we've done that to ourselves. An artist comes out, and if they have a certain amount of time, they're considered, "Oh, now you're old school," you know what I'm saying? Or, nobody wants to hear him anymore. Nobody wants to do that. But I'll tell you right now, if Big Daddy Kane decided to put out a project right now, I'm going to be the first one to go buy it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There is no one says, "Oh, you know what? Def Leppard, oh, you guys are old school." You know what I mean? Rolling Stones, oh, you guys are old. Elton John, you guys are old school. Nobody does that. It's just music. It's art. Art has no shelf life. So I might find a song now that came out in '98, and now it's my favorite song. Like I keep listening to it over and over again. You know what I mean? It has no shelf life. And when we talk about, getting older as an artist, and I shouldn't be doing this anymore in my 40s, or I have talked to people in my 50s, and these are people who were pioneers in hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm talking pioneers. Like I'm talking. I've had conversations with dudes like Busy B. You know what I'm saying? Who's a hip hop pioneer, and he's like, "Man, maybe I shouldn't, do this anymore." But if you check him now, he's on IG doing lives, doing all that stuff. I mean, it's who's to say that you can't? If you're passionate about it, you got a voice, use it. So exactly. I don't think we have a shelf life anymore, man. We got to stop considering hip hop artists old school, or past their prime.
No, it's something that actually happened a lot in the music industry, period, that people do feel, and even with the acting for a very long time as well. Certain female acting, once they hit 40, they were only allowed to play like the stepmothers and different things like that. And then you have an actress like Meryl Streep or Dame Bench that'll slay any role, tomorrow, no matter what their age is. We need to, as a society, get past that type of point of view, because like we've had on the show Mr. Council, a very good friend of ours.
Dope artist.
But he's releasing music for his generation. His point of view. He's not talking about running up through the club and different things like that. But when he's talking about going to the club, he's talking about rolling in deep with his friends, having a good time, and keeping it, in his perspective. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith talks about it all the time. All the stories have already been told. The only thing that makes it original is your point of view. And your point of view will change with age, and it should be respected. I look forward to I got to the honor last year to play with Capadonna, and some of his newer material I liked better than his old material.
Right. It's all those experiences, man, that just make you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've argued with artists. Yo, man, I'm too old to be doing this. Why? You still have the words? Yeah, I still got the words. It's still coming through my brain. Then you're not too old, bro. You know what I mean? You still got it. You still want to do it. Go out and do it. I think some of the artists that I've worked with, there's been a certain time where I felt like I was holding certain people back from their fullest potential because they were trying to do what I do. And I'm like, nah, you got to be you. Like, I'm not asking you to make younger music and try to get a radio hit. I'm not asking you to do that. I've had to explain that several times. You got to do you. If you want to be super lyrical, be super lyrical. If you want to talk and make street music, do that. If that's what you're good at. I just happen to be one of those guys that I can be a well-rounded player and do whatever. I've had my former label tell me that all the time. Like, yo, you just, again, chameleon. You can just do whatever you want, and it's cool. I can go make Kids Bop music and write for Disney, and it's all good. You know what I mean? And then put out Addiction, and it's all good. Yeah. So, but I think for going back to Preston, your earlier question, like for independent artists, just getting them to understand that you don't have to be in a box, you don't have to conform. Use your voice, speak loudly, stand up for what you believe in, and write about what you know. You know what I mean? Write about your pains, write about your struggles. That's the most important thing, right? Do you, be you. Because at the end of the day, all that fake stuff is if you're not talking right, you're gonna get killed out on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just be you. And what I'm doing, like, since you've known me, this is me. You know what I'm saying? This is me. I love life. I like having fun. I like seeing the kids laugh and play in the park and play sports. I like hanging out with my little daughter, you know what I'm saying, and just having fun with her and watching her do crazy stuff. I like club stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm a TV, I'm a superhero dude, you know what I'm saying? I love all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? This has been me, so everything, like when they say, when I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about in Northern League songs, if I'm pulling up to a club and then or whatever white court, I'm pulling up on that, you know what I'm saying? If I'm riding to something, I'm doing that, I'm not talking about stuff that I don't know. If I said I spent this in the club, I spent that in the club, and it's documented somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, I just be you, do you, man. That's what I give to new artists. I really hope they can actually just be them and maintain that and increase their chambers.
As long as there is creativity, as long as there is just great imagination inside of you, the young man's game is dead. Can you agree?
I can agree with that. I agree with that 100%. That's actually, you need to put that on a t-shirt right now, because that's so real. That's so real, it's crazy. I mean, you just summed that up perfectly, man. Like, the young man, it's not a young man's game. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, Top Gun, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Was he in his 60s, late, 62, 63 years old? And he has the biggest movie, of all times for dropping on Memorial Day at 62 years old. Now, somebody said, yo, man, this is a young man's game. You can't be an action hero. You can't be the last action hero anymore. Wow. No. He's like, I'm going to put this out on my time. I'm going to make you wait for it 2 years, and then I'm going to drop it. And that's exactly what he did. And then after that, I'm gonna drop Mission Impossible.
Double seven.
You know?
Well,
Seven.
look, I
Crazy.
say it all the time. Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Michael Caine, bro. Michael Caine is the actor's actor. And you know, people. I remember Conan O'Brien interview that he had with him. Like, how do you select, you know, the roles that you play? He goes, well, I take the script and I look at the first page of the script and then look at the last page of the script. And if my character is on both pages of those scripts, I take the role, you know, and that's what he does. And he's still releasing some of the best work you're ever going to see, you know, and even talking about like the acting aspect of it, what you do is very similar to like what Pacino does. As per, Pacino will take these big budget roles to be able to finance him doing Shakespeare in the Park for free. You know, you've got to take those big budget roles to finance the art itself.
Yeah,
you know,
that actually. Again, you guys always seem to like hone it in, hit the nail right on the head. Like that's perfect because that's what I've been doing for such a long time. You know, I'll take time off and do, you know, when I get that call, I'll take time off and do the big budget thing and be like, all right, cool. This will allow me to float for a certain amount of time. And then I can just go do something else. You know, one thing funds another thing, you know, so, and I've always been, you know, mindful of my time, my space, and I try not to force anything. And you can probably relate to this as being a writer. You know, I want it to come out organically. I want to feel the music. I want to be able to just apply something and have it come from the heart. And I think once that happens, it's that instant connection to it. And people go, yo, I really like this. I really mess with this song. You know what I mean? So we got to do a drop real quick. We got to do a drop press.
Oh, no, we don't got to do a drop. I thought you were going to say something. I thought he was going to say something. You know, it's like kind of double Dutch, like just trying to go in just to try to talk and everything. I don't want to interrupt Easy. That happened in the past. I don't want to interrupt you. You are the guest of the moment as of right now. So it's like a really crazy mindset. But speaking of double Dutch, you're a really great multitasker. Tell me about being a dad. I saw that a little videos you with your daughter doing her karate thing. She like she could beat me up. What's going on with that?
Yo, she's crazy, man. I'd probably be showing. Oh, what did somebody?
Like I said, man, double Dutch is crazy. It's insane right now, man. Yeah. I gotta look out and watch out for everything. My camera might hit me in the face. It's insane right now. It's totally crazy. We just gotta live within the moment. It's ridiculous.
It looked like somebody just came in and clotheslined you.
It was the ghost. It was the ghost. I got a ghost in the house. I just learned to accept it. But the ghost is very nice. I got Casper in the house. He got mad. He wanted to be a part of the spotlight.
That's crazy.
But you go ahead. You go ahead. Don't let me stop you.
Ghost, man.
But speaking on her, man, she's been like such an amazing little child, man. Like she does archery, she does swimming, basketball, baseball, martial arts.
Wow.
I couldn't ask for more. Right now she's a high yellow belt. We took time off, you know, away from the dojo because of the pandemic, and once we feel comfortable enough, we'll start sending her back. She stepped out as a high yellow belt, and then she'll go back, and she still knows her forms and everything like that. So she excels at all that stuff. Right now she's playing baseball, you know. After that, you know, summertime into this, she's been in an aquatic club, you know, basically for the last couple of months also. So she was going from swimming, her swimming class to her basketball practice, and then coming home, doing whatever he had to do with her studies, going to bed. And then now it's like she's going to her baseball practices, baseball games, and then she'll start going back to swimming. So she's got a busier schedule than me, you know, and I'm looking at her in just awe. I'm like, wow, do all of it, you know, do all of it. I had an interesting, you know, again, for me, aha moments are always like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
I taught myself how to swim about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
You know, because of her, you know, because of her passion for swimming. I said, you know what, she's in the pool so much that anything ever happens to her, I want to be able to, I couldn't live with myself, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to just jump in and save her. And I literally, she basically was my motivation to learn how to swim after all these years. And once you get into water, I don't know if either one of you guys swim.
I do.
No.
I do.
Press, once you get into the water, bro, it's like, it's nothing like it, man. You just want to be in there all the time.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, like, you don't swim at all?
Nah.
Preston? Never.
Nah, I got into a pool.
Yeah. but that's it. I'm just,
cool down.
I'm just putting my feet in the pool. That's about
There
it.
you go. That's it. That's what you need to do. That's all you need to do. That's it.
Bro, when I tell you I went from being that guy who I'm just gonna put my feet in the pool, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna sit here on the side and chill.
Yeah.
I went from being that guy to diving in, going underneath, swimming underwater, coming up. And probably I taught myself this, and this is gonna be crazy. I taught myself how to swim in 2 days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Started actually doing it. Scared the heck out of my wife because I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her this at all. I go to a friend's pool. She walks in. I jump in. She's like, "He can't swim." My boy's like, "What are you talking about? He's been swimming all afternoon." I go in under. I'm down under. Come up. He's looking at me like, "What? What just happened here?" Like, right. I'm like, I can swim.
It's funny.
Since when? since yesterday. How did you learn? On YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yo, I tell you, man, I learned how to swim by watching YouTube videos, bro.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
I learned how to swim by watching YouTube videos and applying everything. So it's one of those, shake the dice. It's a game of chance right now. Either these YouTube videos are going to get me right and I'm going to be fine, or I'm going to jump in the pool. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody will save me, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. On WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, Prestige, Easy Blues.
Crazy.
Just jump in the pool, Preston. We'll be fine. Just watch you.
Just jump in the pool, Press. It'll be fine. Jump in the pool.
You want to know something?
Right.
That needs to be a shirt. That needs to be a shirt. How do you survive in the music industry? Just
jump in the pool. You'll be fine, man. Either you're going to swim or you're going to sink. You know what I mean? If you sink, somebody's going to save you if you got a good camp around you. That's how I looked at it. And bro, I jumped in the pool and I've been swimming ever since. Yeah. But I tell you, the look on a grown man or woman's face when they know that their lifetime long friend never ever swam a day in his life and all of a sudden is underwater like Aquaman.
I can't imagine.
It's like it's you come up and everybody's face is like this.
All right, now this leads up to my next question. Now, since we only got a couple minutes left of this broadcast, what can you tell us just on air / pre-recorded on the way back home? Because she just found out you can swim.
Oh, it was on. It was don't ever do that again. You gotta tell me these things. It's just if I could have gotten knocked, if she could have knocked me out, she would have knocked Mike Tyson me that day.
Oh Lord.
But hey, why did you do that? You know what? And here's the reason. I did it because my daughter likes to swim. I did it for her.
There you go.
And then that made everything better.
Look at that. Out the park. Look at that. I'm with that.
But
that's crazy.
True. And especially like with swimming, because like growing up in the suburbs of Long Island, swimming was actually, you kind of had to do it. And it was that like my grandfather taught me how to swim by literally throwing me in the water. You know what I mean? Like now again, I wouldn't do that with people because it's traumatizing, and I'm sure I still have some sort of nightmares because of it. But it's just becomes that natural aspect, and I love that you can still surprise people. I love the fact that you can surprise your significant other, the person that knows you better than everybody else, the person who knows how exactly you like your peanut butter buttered. You know what I'm saying? Like that person knows you so well, but you can still jump in there and surprise them. that speaks volumes of who you are and who you are as an artist. Because if you look back at that incredible resume, you've been surprising people since what, 2007?
2006, 2007, and sum it up. I mean, fearless, man. It's like, why not? You know, why just that's it. Why not? Oh, you should we try to do this? Why not?
Yeah.
Did someone say we can't do it? Well, they said maybe you could. Well, if they said we can't, let's go try it. Let's prove them wrong.
More motivation.
Why not? That's it. Another T-shirt. You know. So why not? Let's go jump in the pool. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man.
So, yeah, man.
What's one thing that you need that's going to be ventured into next for HGO that you haven't done before?
I think the next thing that I'm really jumping into is really handling this merchandise and trying to perfect the merchandise for the record. Trying to perfect the merchandise for Addiction. I'm working on a little line called Addiction, and I'm working on a little line with my daughter, you know, called Ari Kayari, which is her name is actually Arlen Kayari.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm working on a children's line of clothing, and an adult line of T-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that, and then for the record line, you know, and it'll all be packaged up and, you know, put out together. You know, when I come through, I like to come through big, so and just drop multiple things for everybody. So, but yeah, that'll be the next thing to tackle. You know, so
awesome.
And running concurrently with that is, you know, getting the podcast up on, you know, Spotify and things like that, and getting the podcast numbers up, which right now we're doing very well as far as the episode viewing, and you know, getting subscribers up and stuff like that. You know, we're running on all cylinders, man. You know what I mean? I think I don't know. Getting Vega out. I have some music coming out with Vega. One song actually just dropped. Yeah, Vega's got a real dope song out right now called Foreign Exchange. That's on the One FS project, which I'll shoot you guys later. You know, it's really dope. I featured on that, and then I'm helping Vega put out a project June 10th. He has a song dropping called Bishop, you know, based on the Juice character, you know. So and then, you know, motivating Vega is one of those things. Just that's a personal mission of mine. keep him going, you know, keep him going. And then next for me, I got music coming out with Manny, you know. So just yeah, Manny James and I have a dope song that I'm gonna drop out too. So
you ever thought about doing a joint album with Manny James?
That would be crazy. That would be really, really crazy. Because Manny's ventured into producing now, so you never know. Yeah, you never know. Manny actually, so the next song that I'm putting out is called Deja Vu. Manny actually produced it for me, and he was one. It's one of those. He called me. He's like, "Yo, I have this. You know, Manny. You guys have known. I've got this track, right? Manny always speaks so cool that it's like, yo, like, stop whispering, man. Why are you whispering so much to me? Like, yo, I got this track, right? And it's not really for me. I think it's for you. I'm like, okay, you produced it? Yeah, I did it, man. I think you'd be really dope at it. Like, Manny, stop whispering to me, man. Like, he'll R&B you to death, man. I'm like, yo, put some bass in your voice, man. Say it with your chest, you know what I'm saying? But he sent me the track, and and honestly, it was amazing. I called him back, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna knock this out the box tonight. And he was like, all right. So I finished it. We have a cover for it. It's ready to go. It's all about timing for me. I want to get Addiction out of the way first, and then we'll dive into that.
Well, speaking of timing, they are pulling the Apollo curtain on us right now. But we want to give this last couple of moments for you to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, how they can subscribe to For the Record podcast, how they can, get in that front line, before the line goes out the door for your new clothing line. Make sure they can get there, bring out their chairs at the campsite, so they get there day one. How can people get in touch with you, brother?
Everybody can get in touch with us. First of all, the podcast, For the Record podcast, you can hit us up on YouTube. Please subscribe, click all those buttons and everything. You want to get in touch with me personally, it's olympusmusicmedia.com. That's our website for Olympus Music. Everything that comes through Olympus is all there. The podcast is there. The clothing line will be there. The licensing is there. All the music is going to be there as well. olympusmusicmedia.com. That's our website, my website. And then anything else, man, you can hit me up at I am HGO at Instagram, I am HGO, Facebook, I am HGO, Twitter. Just hit me up. I'm always responding and I get right back to you. You know what I'm saying? Click all the buttons wherever you see subscription buttons. Click all those things. I am HGO and For the Record podcast. So I thank you again for having me, man. It's always a blessing talking to you guys.
Absolutely. Always great conversation.
Yeah.
On WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. Thank you, HG, for being a part of Behind the Brand.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, thank you. Let's go.
Tell me, baby, tell me what I am. If I'm not your lover, if I'm not your friend, tell me, baby, tell me what I am. Get the words to the song God sing, I won't forget you. Your girl, your loving keeps me up. Our hearts that beat the same sound. Something better I don't wanna lose. Baby, like my drug. I'll make you erupt tonight. My addiction's got me calling for you. My addiction's got me calling for you. I'll make you erupt. If I'm not your lover, if I'm not your friend, tell me, baby, tell me what I am. If I'm not your lover, if I'm not your friend, tell me, baby, tell me what I am. Hey, my addiction's got me calling for you. Trap P's know that, yeah, I'm falling for you. One call, I'ma beat it in a minute. Say less if you want it, you can get it now. If I'm not your lover, if I'm not your friend, tell me, baby, tell me what I am. Swear to God on everything, we ain't even gotta pretend. If it's up, then it's up, just tell me where to land. Swear you got that bomb, you know you the bomb. Eruption when you on, but you don't mean no harm. Got me swerving around like a spaceship. Spin your sex ain't never that they makes it. Hold tight when you want, cause you be really on. Working up a sweat when the pressure's on. Not another minute should be wasted. Girl, I hope you're ready, let me taste it. Get the words to the song God sing, I won't forget you. Your girl, your loving keeps me up. Our hearts that beat the same sound.